Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. I see we have a lot of comments and questions coming in, so it's awesome. I'm excited to be with you all here today. So, Immigration for Couples, our firm, if you're new here, we are dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world in navigating the US immigration process. We know that it can be quite a labyrinth going through and navigating your immigration journey, and so, whether you're just starting out or you're in the middle of your journey, we're here in a community. We come together here every week, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I answer your questions, your most burning immigration questions live. We also have a ton of free resources on our website, immigrationforcouples.com, and Ria will throw that link here in the comments for all of you to check out. We have downloadable charts that go over the process for spouse visa, fiance visa, adjustment of status, and all that good stuff. So it's a great place to start if you're, like I said, at the beginning or in the middle of your immigration journey. And I also have a webinar that I dive into detail about the 4 different options that are available to couples just starting out. All right. And so go ahead. And I know we have a lot of individuals who come every week, so you know the drill. I always like to start out by asking, where are you at? So where are you at in the world? Where are you at in your immigration journey? And most importantly, how are you doing? All right. So I have our first good morning here in the comments. So awesome. Good morning to you as well. I am streaming this live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So the questions come to me in the order that I receive them. So if you do have questions, throw those in the comments and I'll answer them in the order that I receive them. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Dara, it's great to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Yes, and we can definitely talk about that question here. So and keep coming here. Keep it coming with the comments in the chat. Where are you at in the world? Where are you at in your immigration journey? What are your questions? And most importantly, how are you doing? So, Dara, you're right. The visa, the 75 country pause, they announced it on social media. It was very vague when it was first announced, and so we're slowly getting details that are trickling in. And the Department of State updated the guidance, or rather provided additional guidance. And so in January, they had updated the guidance to let us know that even if you're from one of the pause countries, that interviews are still being scheduled. The way that interviews are being handled is that you'll have a full interview, answer questions, turn in documents, and they won't be able to make a decision. So they'll withhold adjudication is what it's called. They will keep the case in a state of pause until we have further updates. There is active litigation that is pending against this administration for the pause. The situation is evolving on a daily basis, so we'll keep you updated as we have more details. But right now, yes, interviews are still being scheduled. In some embassies, they're just asking a few questions, and others they're doing a full interview, and others people are going and they're taking the documents and saying, here's a piece of paper, we will let you know when we can proceed with your case. So yes, interviews are still happening, and that is what we're seeing. All right, hopefully that helps answer your question. I know it's not the answer anyone wants to hear. It's nice that they're still doing the interviews, but without a decision, you feel in limbo, right? All right. Yomi, great to have you. Good morning to you as well. You're in Nashville. All right. And then you're asking about, for a fiance visa, applying for adjustment of status inside the US, is filing the I-130 required? I just actually made a video on this topic. This is one of the most common DIY mistakes that I see. There's a lot of DIY mistakes that I see, and this is one of the most common. So the fiance visa, for those of you who are maybe just starting out in your immigration journey, all these terms, I-130, AOS, it might feel a little overwhelming. So to give you a little background, once an individual receives the fiance visa, he or she will enter the United States with that visa. It's a one-entry visa. It's meant for you to come and get married. You get married within 90 days, and then you file something called your adjustment of status application. That adjustment of status application is one of the final steps in the process to allow you to go from a fiance visa to a green card, which is your permanent resident status in the United States. That adjustment application has a few different parts to it, And typically, and that's the mistake that I see, some individuals will file this I-130 petition again, or not again. They're filing the I-130 petition and it's not needed because you file your I-129F petition first. And that's the petition that starts the entire process for your fiance visa. So typically the I-130 is not required. However, there are some cases where couples will come to me and we do have to file the I-130 even though they entered on a fiance visa. The reasons vary, but it's not a one size fits all. So you'll see on the banner that's scrolling below, it says not legal advice. So I can't say for your specific case, but in general, you're not needing to file that I-130. But in some cases you do. If you weren't in compliance with marriage deadlines and things of that nature, then filing an I-130 might be required for an adjustment for a fiance visa, but not typically. So great question. Yes, let's see who's next here. Hi there, Andrew from the UK. Awesome. You're currently approved by USCIS for your green card, as my wife is a US citizen, and our case is now at SEAC processing stage. You have public charge concerns due to heart surgery. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that it sounds like your petition was approved and that your case is being transferred onto the National Visa Center stage and that you're going through that process. So yes, whenever an applicant has existing health issues, that's always been something that we look at with our clients, and that's always been something that immigration will look at. Of course, under this administration, there's a great deal more scrutiny. They are looking and scrutinizing relationship evidence and public charge information, such as medical conditions, even more closely. So we're being extremely strategic with our clients, ensuring that our cases and our clients have all the documentation to reach these higher standards under the increased vetting. So whenever someone has a medical condition, a pre-existing condition, something that immigration looks for is the condition managed? Are you under the care of a doctor? How is the condition managed? Is it with medication? Is it with checkups? What is the extent of the care that's required? And does this individual have access to health insurance upon arrival? So looking into that is something that's really important. Identifying a company that you can obtain insurance from immediately upon entry, so you can have proof that you will have that medical insurance to receive the treatment that you need. So that's something to definitely look at. That's what we talk with our clients about if they have pre-existing conditions like that. All right. So let's see. You have and hello to you as well. So you have a spouse interview in Bogota, Colombia in March. You can't find the affidavit of support copy to take with us. I have to try to print out with no luck. Okay, so I'm not sure if I follow what you mean. If you mean you can't obtain the copy that you submitted through the National Visa Center, perhaps oftentimes documents that are submitted on that portal will disappear for privacy reasons. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but if not, you'd have to prepare your affidavit of support form anew. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but that's what I'm understanding from your question. And goodness, I I need my water, and I just looked over and realized I left it. I didn't bring it in my office. I left it out in the kitchen. So anyway, I will make it. All right. So you're in Vancouver and you have a spouse visa I'm sorry, Vancouver, spouse in Washington. You were approved 10 days ago at USCIS, and now you're submitting all the documents to the National Visa Center. Congratulations. That's really exciting. Progress. You'll take it. And then you're awaiting processing and interview scheduling. You applied January 2025. So 18 months start to finish. Okay, great. Well, that's good. Keep us posted on how things are going, and good luck with your interview. Hopefully that gets scheduled for you soon. Monique, it's always lovely to see you. You're watching from Raleigh, North Carolina. Your husband's in Nigeria. You're doing well, and you're looking forward to seeing each other in Kenya in April. Oh, that's exciting. It's always good to have a trip planned because it helps with the wait time, having that next time you'll be together in mind. So good. Have an amazing, amazing trip. That's going to be so great to be together. Yay. Maria, so lovely to see you and so glad to have you here as well. I will, like I always do, I'll let the team know that you said hello. Okay, so Joyce, yeah, you listened to some of my June and July videos and posts and talking about the DS-160 for the fiance visa. But online it now appears to be submitted electronically. Is this accurate? And which is a pause. Okay, this is one of the big questions. It's covering up my face. Give me a minute to digest. Okay, so Joyce, I realized your question is so long that on the platform I'm using it cuts it off. So I can answer what I can read here. So the DS-160 is a required form for all fiance visa applications. In general, it's one of many documents that has to be taken to the interview. In general, the fiance visa process is something that's done by paper at the embassy. So there's an electronic transfer process and also a physical file transfer process to get the file to the embassy. So the DS-160 typically is something you take with you to the interview. The DS-260 is something that's done online. That's something for the spouse visa. And I think that might be what you are seeing, and that might be what you're conflating. And then, yeah, your application is now at the National Visa Center and that your case has been moved to South Africa. Yeah, and that's sorry. I can't read the rest of your question because it's so it's so big. It didn't fit on the screen. So but yes, once your file is transferred, then the embassy will reach out to you with letting you know when it's time for you to take the next steps to schedule the interview. There are some embassies that will schedule the interview for you, but most fiance visa cases, you're scheduling that interview, and then they will give you instructions on their requirements for biometrics and all of that, because every U.S. embassy and consulate in the world has a little bit of a different process, even though it's all U.S. immigration for a fiance visa. All right. So, Leonardo, you renewed your medical deferred action. It was approved with the work permit, but until today, it hasn't arrived for 1 month. USCIS website says only case was received and receipt notice was sent. Is that normal? So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that your work permit was approved. You see that online, but you haven't received any approval notice or the actual work permit. If that's the case, you'll need to reach out to immigration to find out what's going on with that and see. Typically the online case status would show once the work permit has been is in the process of being printed, once it's printed, and once it's in route and in the process of being delivered. So it should show that. If you have an immigration attorney, speak with him or her. Otherwise, you'd need to reach out to immigration to figure out why, if it's been approved, the work permit hasn't arrived. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure if you mean a copy of the application forms or copies of which items, but and it again, it's all going to be largely dependent on the U.S. embassy or consulate that is processing your case. Some require an ink signature on forms, others are fine with a copy. There are documents that you will take copies of and certified copies or originals. So I can't say conclusively if a copy is going to suffice because that will be dependent on the U.S. embassy or consular post. So definitely look at their instructions when you receive your interview notice. It should indicate if a copy is sufficient or which documents have to be in original format. Okay, so Daria, you had a follow-up question about the litigation. So if the case is successful, would other people who didn't join also benefit? So they could. It depends on the type of case. So there's a lot of different lawsuits that have been filed against this administration for the 39 country travel ban, the 39 country USCIS pause, the 75 country pause. There's a lot of litigation right now. And it just depends on the type of case. Some cases, the way they're filed, it's meant that only that litigant, only that person that filed that litigation or that litigation would benefit. So it's limited to that one individual because the court is reviewing that individual's specific circumstances. There's other litigation that's been filed that's more comprehensive. That's a group of individuals who are filing together and speaking on behalf of everyone. What I will say is under the first Trump administration, there and really any administration where there's litigation, whenever you're suing the government, even delay cases like mandamus cases, that's what they're called. The impact will depend on how the case is filed. Is it filed as an individual? Is it filed as a group? But all of this different litigation that's been filed, I'm hopeful will benefit everyone. But historically, cases and litigation that's filed for individuals, it's really limited to those who decided to join the lawsuit. But there is, like I said, there is other litigation. And so our hope with all of the litigation that's happening right now is that these pauses and bans will be lifted. So, okay, where am I at in the queue? All right. Yeah, so you're asking about the affidavit of support. So again, it depends on the embassy. Some require an ink signature. They're very specific that they don't want just a copy. Others are fine with a copy and also making sure it was uploaded to SEAC. So just check with your particular consular post as to the requirements there. Okay, I think let me make sure I didn't. Oh, here we go. Leanne, so your CR1 interview was done, and later the embassy inquired to health department for previous marriage death certificate. When you check your visa case status is refused under administrative processing. Okay, and you're asking if she should proactively obtain documents to resolve a discrepancy for a previous case without a formal request. So, yeah, if the embassy has specifically asked you for a document, then you should obtain it and provide it. If they haven't, it doesn't hurt to proactively obtain documentation to have just in case. That never hurts to have those documents ready, but you want to be careful and not responding without the embassy requesting it because it could cause additional confusion. But it never hurts to obtain documents in advance to be proactively prepared. Oh, and Leon, you said a previous copy. Let me look at your question again and see if I. And so you're saying the embassy didn't request it yet? Yeah, so yeah, obtaining it proactively is a good idea, but submitting it without a formal request can cause issues. So, obtaining the document and then you can reach out to the embassy and ask for a status update on your case and see if they're needing anything, but typically unsolicited documentation can cause issues. So, just follow whatever the embassy instructions are saying to do. All right. Awesome. You're very welcome. And yes, you're welcome to book a consultation. I'm happy to speak with you in private about your case. Ria can throw the scheduling link in there, which reminds me that we do have a special going on right now. I didn't announce that at the beginning, so thank you for reminding me with your comment. We do have a special right now for Valentine's Day for the month of love here in February, that if you book a consultation, and you put in the code LOVEWINS50, you'll receive $50 off that consultation. And our consultation fees, so what you pay to meet with me in private, then if you decide and we decide to work together, what you pay for your consultation is credited to the cost of your immigration case. So Ria threw those links in there as well for you for scheduling and for the code. All right. Look forward to talking with you. Oh, thank you for your comment. That's a very lovely comment. So your fiance's in the US and you're so happy. So yay. Congratulations to you. We're all celebrating you. And thank you for your inspiration for others, telling everybody to not give up, because I know it can be a very stressful process. I know personally firsthand, it's hard to be apart from the one you love, going through an immigration journey, wondering when are we going to finally be able to be together. So that's fantastic news. Yes, and advice, don't give up. Lovely. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, yes. So, hello to you as well. You filed your fiance visa in December for your fiance in Nigeria, and you're praying that the paperwork is approved before the end of the year. We're planning our second in-person meeting this June. So, congratulations on getting your case filed. That's awesome. One day closer once the case is filed, right? And again, having like Monique said, she's got her upcoming trip, having those trips planned and having that to look forward to the next time you'll be together really helps significantly with the wait. So, again, congratulations and have a wonderful time together. Let me do a double check here to make sure I didn't miss any questions today. I think we got through quite a few. Um, Okay, so Joyce, that you were able to put the rest of your question on there since it cut off for being so long. So you said Joyce again, and you're in Southern Indiana. That's awesome. All right, so you are asking about Zimbabwe being on the visa pause. The application is now at the National Visa Center. So yep, at the National Visa Center, that's when they assign the case number and begin that transfer process. Your petition was moved to South Africa, yes, because that's where the interview will occur. And when he goes for his biometric interview, so there's two different things. So there's a biometric appointment. Typically, every embassy is different, but typically there's a biometrics appointment where they take your fingerprints. Sometimes they'll do that at the interview, and then there'll be an actual interview. When you go to the interview, they do take your passport, because it's in your passport that they put the visa inside. So yes, it's common that they'll keep the passport, and you'll yeah, even if he's from another country. So typically there are options for a courier selection to have it delivered to you, or a pickup of your passport. So the embassy keeps it, but before the interview, you're going to be selecting, hey, I want to come and pick it up at this location, or hey, I want this courier service, or it'll be dependent on the embassy. Some have premium courier services, some only allow you to pick up in person. So again, that's going to be instructions that you'll receive from the embassy, but you will decide that and make that a selection before the interview. They do keep the passport, so then they can put the visa inside. So I hope that helps answer the rest of your question. And then, all right, so a K1 visa has been, I think you mean administrative processing. I think that's what you mean, since March of 2024. Will our case just remain in administrative processing or limbo until the ban is lifted? We fear denial after this already extremely long wait. So typically it will. So I made a video on this. Ria, you could post that long form video that I did about okay, yep, and you're confirming it's administrative processing. It's the one that I did most recently about whether or not you should wait to file, and I walk through the different bans. So in that video, I talk about there was a 39 country travel ban last year. Then there was an extension to USCIS for those 39 countries. And then there was a 75 country pause. So it depends on, and this is for everybody, that it depends if you are in one of those countries. It depends on what lists that you're part of. Was it the 39 country ban, or was it the 75 country pause? Because individuals who are on the 75 country pause list only, they are still processing fiance visas. But if an individual was on the 39 country travel ban, then you're right. Then those cases are put in administrative processing and held until the travel ban is lifted. Again, like I said to Dare, was the one that was asking questions about litigation. There is a lot of litigation that's currently pending against the administration, and we are hopeful to see positive developments and those pauses and bans lifted. I know it's a very difficult time for those who are impacted, and our hearts go out to you. All right, I think we've gotten through all of our questions here today. So it was great to be with all of you. Again, I know the immigration process can be very overwhelming and a labyrinth, but please lean on all of our resources. I will be back here again next week at a Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Be sure to subscribe, follow, like, whatever platform you're on. Subscribing and following, that way you'll be alerted when our next live event is. Typically we do 11 a.m. Eastern time for our lives, but sometimes we have to move the date just based on schedule, and then that'll ensure that you'll be able to be notified. And you're very welcome. And you're very welcome, Joyce. And I love your photo. I was going to mention that. It's a very adorable picture. I'm glad I was able to help. And then do check out our free resource center, Immigration for Couples. Like I said, it's very robust. A lot of your questions about, we're here, what happens next? We have free downloadable charts and resources on the website that are available to all of you. All right. All right, everyone. Bye, Maria. It's so lovely to see you. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hang in there. The finish line is in sight. I'll see you all next week. All right. Bye.